There we are. Good afternoon. Welcome to Entrepreneurship Spotlight. Sarah, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So today we have Sarah Phillips. She's the owner of Mosquito Authority franchise here in Oklahoma. And what they were going to do with Entrepreneurship Spotlight is just this: bring in folks that are out walking it out, doing it every day, building a business. What does that look like? What all goes into that? Those types of things. So Sarah has agreed to be our first guest, which I'm thrilled that you're here. So Sarah, tell everybody a little bit about Mosquito Authority, and then we'll get into kind of the details of how you ended up here.
Okay. Mosquito Authority is a franchise, as Phil said. They founded in, I believe, 2002. I went blank on the founder's name, but it was out of Hickory, North Carolina. He was having issues with his children in the backyard getting bit, as mosquitoes are horrible out there. I believe he was, had a treatment or whatnot, was like, this is awesome. And so, he went after it for quite some time, and eventually they sold to a larger company, Mainline Brands.
Yep.
And it's awesome. Like, just being able to go in your backyard, sit on the back porch and not get bit, like, it's a game changer.
Well, we are customers of y'all's, and we have a pool in the backyard and the patio area, and we have dogs, and we were always battling because we did not only mosquitoes, but you guys do pest control. You can do for flies, for ticks, all kinds of different critters, anything that's flying around.
If you have a tick issue, and it's
amazing.
You'll have zero. Like, we have zero callbacks.
Yep.
It's like 99.9% effective. And
my dogs, who we battled ticks, because you've obviously been to our place and the backyard. I mean, we've got a big backyard, and every year our four-legged babies were battling ticks. And last year, not one tick off one dog all year. I mean, so it's a great service, and I appreciate you sharing a little bit about Mosquito Authority. Great, but talk a little bit about the franchise model. What made you go the franchise model way? What was it about it? Me. Okay.
I've always wanted to have my own business. I wanted to start a business. I like the idea of, the harder you work, the more you put into it, the more you can get out of it.
Yep.
And instead of just the same paycheck every week and maybe a yearly raise. And so when we were looking at opening a business, a business owner has so many different hats. And you said, what do you think about a franchise? And I was like, immediately in my head, I think I can't afford a franchise.
Yeah.
And so
everybody thinks it costs millions of dollars to buy a franchise, right?
Yeah. And I didn't know much about bugs. And when we did some personality things and talked about things, and you laid out a few different franchise options for us, and like the pink. Yeah. I love their branding. Yeah. That stood out. And then just learning about it and knowing that I have a headquarters that has a team, a marketing team, the director of pest control, which any funny bug question that I might have, I have someone to fall back on. When I've run a small business before in the past, it was me and myself, nobody to fall back on. And so that can be really hard as a business owner to not have somebody to talk to about the issues that you're having.
Yeah. I think what's cool, in one of our companies, we work a lot with franchises all over the country. And I think the thing that's consistent is what you just said. There's some peace of mind that comes with knowing that this system's been proven. It works. We're not guessing. Yeah. And I think the other thing too is that you do get a playbook. But once you get the playbook, you're still running a business, right? So what's the most challenging aspect of launching, whether it's a franchise or what I call a traditional brick and mortar business? You've been around both. What do you think is the most challenging thing for a new business owner?
Probably finding those customers.
Yeah. Business development.
Yeah, and educating people, because this is a new concept for a lot of people in our area, I feel.
Which is a great opportunity.
Yeah, but I feel like the customers that we have acquired, they have stayed with us.
Yeah.
Like I don't think retention is hard for me, because I love people. I care for people. I'm honest, and I want to do the best for them. And if there's an issue, I always want to make it right. But yeah, getting out there and finding those customers, because I know, and I'm going to be knocking doors this year. So,
well, business development and what we see at Exxon, without question, again, it doesn't matter if you're a $100 million a year top line revenue company or a startup or anything in between. It's business development. How do you keep the pipeline full? How do you keep a steady flow of clients coming in? How do you retain those clients? That's always the magic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah. So go ahead.
It's just stressful.
Yeah, it is.
Just constantly thinking, you know, we've got to grow, we've got to hit this, and where am I going to find them?
Yep.
I mean, stepping out of your comfort zone. Like anyone out there, you might see me knocking on your door this spring.
Yeah.
So I just want to get out and meet people and, you know, let them know I am the owner and this is me. I'm in it. And
well, and I think that matters. You know, I think when you're an owner operator like you are, it matters to customers because they know who they can talk to the boss. You know, they can talk to the person that owns the company. If there is a challenge, and there's always challenges in business, it doesn't matter what you're doing or how long you've been doing it or how big you are as a company. There's always going to be challenges, but it's been really fun for me to watch you grow over the last year, just from the perspective of where you were when you started and where you are now. Because I remember one of the first things you told me is I'm not a salesperson. It's one of the first things she told me.
I know. And then you say everybody's.
I said, well, everybody's selling. So it doesn't.
I know. And I always come back to the story of I think it's more so selling for yourself is harder. But I mean, I could sell, like when I got an Apple Watch, I sold it to everyone. Yeah. Because I loved it so much. Yeah. So then I've got I don't know, just that mental. Well, and I think
when you first start asking people for money in business, it's something you have to acquire a taste for, right? You know, some people are natural at it. They don't care. They'll ask anybody for money anytime. They don't care. Some people, it takes a little longer time, but that's been kind of cool for me just to watch your development in that area, because you're night and day beyond where you were when you started.
Lots of books.
So a lot of books. Yeah. We'll talk about that. How important is that to you as a business owner?
Oh, it's I don't even have words for it. Like, some of the book, like you've given me some business books that are they make sense. They walk you through processes, but also just your mindset. Like I love a lot of the John Maxwell books. They you've got to keep that inner voice in your head in the right place, and just constant personal development, constant, like just keeping that voice in your head, like under control.
One of the things we tell a lot of sales teams we work with is the biggest challenge you have is between your two ears, because we'll convince ourselves that things are a certain way, or people feel a certain way, or, oh, they won't do this because of this. Yeah, we can also call that selling from your own checkbook, right? If you don't believe that what you're bringing to them is of value, you're going to have a hard time selling it.
Yeah.
I mean, you just are.
Yeah.
You know, once you understand why what you do matters and how it helps people, becomes so much easier. Yeah.
It's easy for me to sell because
it is. Yeah. Well, we can see it now. I mean, you can see it.
Yeah.
It comes natural to you. But then again, you're a people person. You love people. And so I think that's a really good head start to where you need to be when you're doing business development. So we'll talk a little bit about your plans. I know you want to build this year. You want to get bigger. I know we've talked about other territories, other areas eventually to go into. Just walk through kind of what's your 3-year, 5-year vision?
Well, my 1-year vision is we've been talking for quite a while, but things behind the scenes and training and stuff has taken time, but we will be launching our franchise is dual branded. And when we started Mosquito Authority, we were offered Pest Authority as well. So we will have full pest control.
Which is big.
March.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm going out to North Carolina to do the franchise training the first week of February. So I'm really excited about that. When we bought into Mosquito Authority, like you get a territory. And so, we have people in Guthrie that are like, come spray our house, but they have a different zip code. So we go off of zip codes. So like we have Guthrie, but the 73044 zip code. And then we go to Crescent, Cashin. That's about where we're going. We can go a little bit more north, but we're staying a little more focused.
You can
right
go to
now.
Stillwater, but you got to.
Yeah, we will go to
but you gotta build
Stillwater.
yeah.
That's our
Yeah.
goal this year is to
Yeah.
build Stillwater.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those are kind of our big things we're pushing for now. My little goals are I want a nice little garage with an office and stuff like that. That's my 3-year goal. Working out of our garage currently right now. That's just how it is. And
it's one of the cool things about launching the startup is when you've arrived down the road, you look back on those things our experience has been, and those are some of the greatest memories because you built it literally brick by brick by brick, and it means so much.
Well, and that's what I like about the options that franchises have is that you can buy in for so little.
Yeah.
And if it's a home-based service, you can run it out of your house.
Absolutely.
Granted, it puts a lot of.
You never turn it off.
No, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to have something to go to every day,
Yeah.
and to get that out of the garage and stuff. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
We'll
you're
get
getting there
Yeah.
one step at a time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, tell everybody about how they can reach you. If they have questions, if there's anything they want to talk about, let them know how to reach you.
Okay. My phone number, call me anytime, is 580-380-3460. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and our website is bugsbite.com.
How do they find you on Facebook?
Facebook, Mosquito Authority, Guthrie.
Okay. And Instagram, same?
Mosquito Authority, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you being here, Sarah. This is good. We'll have you back. We're going to keep everybody updated on how you're doing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we'll have you back periodically. And as you check off these accomplishments and hitting these goals and these benchmarks, that'll be a fun thing to share. And I think what I want to say is that what I love the most is seeing people say, I just want to own a business. I want to own, because you get to build a legacy, right? And watching you walk it out over this past, not even full year, has been a really cool thing to see, just the personal growth. And I think a lot of times when you're in it, I don't think you recognize it in yourself how much you've grown.
Yeah.
But I can promise you, people around do, as we talk about it.
Well, and I think I noticed, because there's been a lot of things that you've said in the past about me, and the doubts that I've had in myself, and the things that you've said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I'm kind of over that now.
You are. Yeah. You don't have a lot of barriers. Now it's just about doing the work.
Yeah.
Right.
I always feel like I've always had the voice that says you can do anything, because I always remember hearing my mom say that about herself.
Yep.
And she's like, I can do it. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I've dove into this. I'll figure it out. And I really kind of like bugs now.
Well, and you're, that's good.
I didn't think.
But you're wired that way. You're a college athlete, and you've always been competitive, and you've always competed.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that's another thing that's cool too, is no matter what your area of or your passion was when you were younger, business ownership, you can find something to correlate to what you're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a million different things you can go do. I think that, of course, we talked about this a year or so ago, having the opportunity to open a market literally with a service. Like you said, there's not a lot of, Mosquito Authority wasn't a known brand in this area exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of doing pest control and stuff probably wasn't what you thought about, but it's a great service to people.
Yeah.
And it's something that everybody needs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great thing. So I thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Give me your number one more time.
580-380-3460.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Entrepreneurship Spotlight. We'll talk to you next week. I can get my little mouse to work, Sarah.
So we're still live, aren't we?
Huh?
We're still live.
Oh, yeah, we're still live. Be careful what
Okay.
you say about Chris. Let me see here. We're going to have Chris come shut this off.
I'm going to mute you.